Hello everyone, and with the Overlord collaboration on the horizon, I thought today I'd do a video of me going over the materials you will need to level up the characters. Once again, things that I wouldn't be able to include are like outfits. The materials you need to level up outfits, mainly because, well, some people may not want to buy the outfits, so there's no point in me doing the outfits. But here we go. So this is what you're going to need for the characters, as you can see. Well, you can't actually see my mouse, but 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the amount of characters. So of course, you're going for 4 characters. You read the 4 numbers. So 132 SSR pendants, 20 red demon mats, 320 grey demon wings, 320 Howlix material, 580 Belmoth material, 500 OG demon material. And when it comes to Super Awakening coins, it's 192 if you're going to get them all 6/6, and 252 if you're going to get them all 1/6. Gold-wise, so just to level up the characters alone, it'll be 3.6 million. Add the relics on top, it's another 20 million. So for 4 characters, you're looking at 33.6 million. And of course, you're wondering what's the price. For example, if you've got all the old characters already and you're just going for the new characters, you can just read the number 2, where it's 66 SSR pendants, 100 red demon, so on and so forth, as you can see. But yeah, you need a lot of materials, and I'd recommend you start grinding them now. What I recommend you do is you just do your daily, so go to demons, go to here, and do like auto collect, like do all your demons. Do as many demons as you can to get the materials. The hardest ones to get the materials for are, of course, Belmoth and OG Demon, mainly Belmoth, which is the one you need the most of, which is between the levels, I believe, of 80 and 100 is when you need Belmoth cores. So that is this a very small gap, but a very expensive price. Of course, you can use it to join in real time, which is what I've used before to farm Belmoth mats. Super Awakening coins, unfortunately, there's not many places you can get them. You've got events, you've got, I guess, exchange shops, event shops, and you also have the time limit dungeon, which I will be doing an updated guide on sometime next week during the collab, because someone asked for a guide for it and I haven't been able to do it. I've been sort of waiting so I can do the Plat Coin dungeon as well. Not Plat Coin, SA Coin dungeon as well. But overall, for the characters, if you're summoning for all of them, it's going to be quite pricey. There are probably a few characters you can leave out leveling up straight away. Mainly Corcutus, because he's okay, he's used for PvE, but he isn't really the best, and Irons, mainly because Irons is pretty mid. I didn't even make him his own gear, he just holds Albedo's other set of gear. That's literally all he does. That's the job for my Irons, and maybe if I use him in Chaos mode every now and again, because his damage isn't too bad. He has quite a high multiplier skill here. His relic's actually getting a buff from 3% to 4%, so he gives his team 20% basic stats now, which is a little bit better. As well as his ultimate's getting buffed slightly to, I believe, 50% for each one. I think it's his ultimate that's getting buffed. I'm pretty sure it's his ultimate that's getting buffed. And that's going to 50%. And that doesn't scale with ult level either, so it doesn't really matter too much. The only thing that does scale with ultimate level that Irons has is the damage increase taken. Or, sorry, the damage lower. That's the only real thing that scales with his ultimate, which is kind of broken. At 1/6, it's only 2% per. You can have up to 4 stacks. So, of course, that's 8%. And then when it comes to this one, it's 28% if you have from 6/6, which is a lot of damage reduction. Sorry, damage lower. And especially when today's meta is like HP based. With Alder, it won't really matter. But for someone like Gelder or like Nofmi or Boulder, damage lower is very big for them. And, of course, defense low, HP low, whatever the main stat is for damage. And of course you've got Corcutus, who isn't really... He's okay, he's used for PvE, but not really that often. You maybe get him level 90 if you really want to. Level 80 SA6 will do. Once again, mine doesn't have gear, he just has SSR gear. He had the SR gear that I just engraved on him because it's like much cheaper, and his CC isn't the best. All the old characters are getting a buff in some way or another. Albedo, once again, still as good as she's going to be. I recommend leveling her up. Whether Albedo is, I will look this up. Because not only is she getting a slight buff to her damage, so this skill here is getting a 20% multiplier, I think a 30% boost, and then a 50% boost, which is kind of good. And also she's having her substats increase slightly. I think she gets about 200 CC from her substat boost, which is actually the lowest of the buffs to all the other characters. Irons gets the highest with a 780 CC boost, which is it's quite a chunk. It's a nice chunk. It's definitely not the best for him because he isn't really the best character, but it will definitely help in like ungeared, where once again gear isn't taken into consideration. And slight buffs like that do make quite a big difference. Sholti, she's okay. Only problem with her is I wouldn't say she's really as good as she was. She's also getting a slight buff. Her 7% HP related stats is being turned to 10% HP related stats. I think that's all they're changing with her, which isn't too much. Oh, maybe they're changing the multiplier for this. I think they're slightly increasing the multiplier for this as well, which is okay. It's kind of what she needed. I do kind of wish she got a slight, stat boost, maybe to do with like her critical chance, like crit chance, and crit damage is fine. Like the rest of her stats are completely fine. She truly has a lot of base lifesteal, which is quite rare to see for characters nowadays. And that's just like Gelda or I've got her name now, Melascula, who just have high base lifesteal. And of course, then we have the new characters as well, Demiurga and Nebril, I think her name is. But the one you want to prioritize is Demiurga. He is very good from what I've seen. Of course, he only works with demons, and he is debuff based, which are once again it's a slight problem being fully debuff based. It means in PvE you sort of aren't really that good. Of course, Nebril's also debuff based, but she's grey debuff based, so it's a lot different. She's not the only one that can apply the grey debuff, so it's a little bit more of just a boost in general, really. And I do kind of think Nebril's going to be a little bit better in PvE than Demiurga, because Demiurga seems to have a PvP orientated kit. So damage reduction for demons, and to be honest, you don't really use demons anywhere other than just PvP, because they're not really that useful. He's red as well, which is it's okay. It means technically you could use him for Howlix if you're struggling for Howlix. Even OG Demon, even though I don't know why you'd want to use him in OG Demon, but it is possible. And just make sure you've got all your resources ready. Of course, I've got lots of resources only because I was saving for a new collaboration, because I thought it'd be a new collaboration. But I have a new theory that the one at the end of the year will be a new collaboration. That's because the final collab of the year, the past 2 years, has been a new collaboration. We had Overlord last year, and then the year before that, we then had Shield Hero, which was the first run of Shield Hero. Last year was the first run of Overlord. So that's my theory, at least, that we're going to get a new collab probably in less than 8 weeks' time, because it would be the end of October for JP, which would be the start of November for Global in terms of it being released, which is good. And I can't wait to see how the collaboration characters do. I will test them, of course. I'll be doing my normal testing stuff, and I'll probably end up doing like at the end. I might do a review video on the characters, giving my real thoughts and opinions on maybe the old ones as well. I haven't really done much when it comes to the old ones. I did, like, of course, the Albedo stuff. I got to Chan 1 with a 1/6 iron, so you Schulte a little bit. Like, Schulte is still not too bad. She's actually quite useful still in Hero Arena, but that's really it. And guess what? Hero Arena is going away and won't be back for like 4 weeks, right? So you can sort of leave her for a little bit if you don't really want to level her up straight away. True Awakening wise, once again, I would really only recommend probably True Awakening Albedo. Maybe Demiurga as well for PvP, and maybe the new Nebril as well, if you want to, just for the sake of having the True Awaken. It's like Glass, right? I didn't need to True Awaken Glass, but she's True Awakened. Which, yeah, it was probably a waste to True Awaken her, but at the time, she was quite a good counter to Demon King melee. She has insane crit chance with her passive, so her Relic gives her 60%, her passive then gives her another 30%, so she ends up with 90% crit chance boost, which puts her at nearly 200%, which means ungeared she could basically one-shot melee if you had like a level 2 pierce skill, because not only did she have good crit chance, she has good pierce rate, and she also boosts her own pierce rate by 150%, which is equivalent to about the same as what RERUN does, basically. Also, she increases her own basic stats by 7%, which is kind of nice. Which increases her pierce rate even more by another 90%, so she increased her pierce rate by 240%, which will put her at 344% pierce rate, which is a lot, and was enough to one-shot melee at the time. Vittoria, once again, was worth True Awakening because it was Vittoria. She's good in PvE, good in PvP, and I think the only one I can guarantee will be good in PvE and, I guess, sort of in PvP would be Albedo, so I'd only recommend True Awakening her for now. Of course, if you don't have many resources to True Awaken, Albedo is probably your best bet for now, because she can put out a lot of damage in PvE still. She can be used for basically every demonic beast apart from Nidhogg, Rat, and the new bird one. And she's just generally a good character. Demon King, she does quite well, especially with Boulder. In my video I recently tried out, I used Demon King. I used Boulder and Albedo on Demon King, and I actually liked that combo. Albedo's damage took a very long time to ramp up. When it did, it ramped up quite nicely, and Baldur was quite a consistent amount of damage, which was kind of nice to have, especially when you're only using level 1 counters, so it doesn't mean you have to do all the gimmicks all the time. But yeah, thank you for watching, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you're prepared for this collaboration if you're going to summon, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.